So we got what if the Emperor fought the entire Horus Heresy? Let's go to it, man. Shout out to Majorkill. And also, man, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Let's go to it. Let's go.
G'day, guys and gal. Although on paper, the Horus Heresy should have been a stomp for the Loyalists since it was 9v9 Primarchs with the Emperor and his Custodians on one side, which is worth way more than multiple Primarchs and their legions. However, the traitors were crafty and they opened up the Heresy by taking out 3 Loyalist legions, isolating the others, but most importantly of all, getting the Emperor's Webway project sabotaged, thus requiring the Emperor to spend almost the entire Heresy stuck on the Golden Throne.
Bro, I know he was so sick, bro. Yo, when Magnus broke that webway, bro, I know he was clenching his fist, bro. Yo, bro, imagine like, bro, you really like put that's legit like having like somebody make like an 1,000-piece puzzle, just put everything together. It took them multiple weeks or whatever, because they're doing it little by little, because obviously they got work or whatever, so they're just doing this puzzle in their free time. And bro, when it's all said and done, when everything's together, yo, they got like their little car, bro, under and everything, bro. That's like you coming through and being clumsy and falling on their 1,000-piece puzzle. Do you know how, like, first of all, if you do that to me, bro, I'm becoming a menace to society, bro. Seriously. Like, I know he was sick of Magnus, like, literally, bro.
His Custodes, Sisters of Silence, and a large Imperial force getting decimated as a result. But what if the Webway project was never sabotaged and the Emperor was free to leave the Golden Throne as he pleased? What if the Emperor was able to take the fight to the traitors directly, off of Terra? Would it be a stomp? Do the traitors still have a chance? It's an interesting question that I'll answer today. Before
I feel like, just reading the title, I feel like naturally he would be tired in a way. But I don't know, bro. Like, he kind of was already doing things by himself, so I don't know.
Get started, I want to share a bit of a fun fact that a fair few of you... Okay, so to set the scene, we want to match canon as closely as possible. So the Heresy does begin with the Emperor on the Golden Throne, helping stabilize and keep open the human webway while his Mechanicum forces stabilized and built upon it. However, in this version, Magnus does not attempt to breach the webway in order to warn his father of Horus's betrayal. He instead honors the Edict of Nicaea, and he physically heads to Terra with his legion to deliver the warning in person. Well, the first thing that would happen would be Chaos shitting the bed at this unexpected turn of events. Tzeentch would stir up the warp a lot around Prospero, delaying the Thousand Suns. You could honestly create your own book out of it, with the effort and challenges the Thousand Suns would face, on par with the flight of the Eisenstein or the White Scar's challenging journey home. The flesh change would also accelerate within the Legion as Tzeentch increases pressure on them. However,
oh my goodness, imagine, like, bro, imagine you chilling, you just doing your job, all of a sudden you got all types of tongues and horns and all types of kinky freaky-ish just coming out your body. Oh my goodness, bro, I would like... First of all, I'll just be in disarray because, like, yo, the girls would hate me. Like, the girls would look at me and just scream. Ah! That's how the girls would sound every time they look at me. Because, bro, like, if I'm with Magnus, bro, like, and Tzeentch, bro, Tzeentch is big mad. I'm talking about, bro, he's sick to his stomach, bro. Like, I'm talking about he got a stomach ache. He need Pepto-Bismol, bro. He's so sick that he's intense. That he's intensifying his pressure. He's intensifying like the horns and everything coming out your skin. Lord have mercy.
It has been shown that mental discipline and not using warp powers does slow or even stop the flesh change, and this version of Magnus and his legion was more restrained, so it's not like everyone just turns into a chaos spawn. Either way, Magnus would make it to Terra, but in true grimdark style, he would be slightly too late to warn the Emperor, with the events and plans of the Heresy already been set into motion. For drama's sake, let's say he gets to Terra just as the Iron Hands, Salamanders, and Raven Guard head to Isstvan to take down Horus. You may be wondering why the Emperor wouldn't lead the Isstvan counterattack himself if he isn't stuck on the Golden Throne, and the answer is that he still kinda was. His presence on the Golden Throne is what is forcibly keeping the human webway open and stable. If he hopped off, most of it would collapse and seal itself off from humans, as the webway is like a sentient organism with its own immune system that targets non-Eldar intruders. The Mechanicum was stabilizing it, meaning eventually he would not need to keep it forced open, but for now he did. Horus was also expected to be crushed pretty easily by the 3 Loyalist legions, who were supposed to get backed up by the Night Lords, Wordbearers, Iron Warriors, and Alpha Legion, not betrayed by them. So the Emperor didn't want to jeopardize the webway, which he saw as way more important than Horus's rebellion, if he didn't have to. The Heresy kicks off in similar
Bro, that was like, yo, that was legit like the Emperor's like... that was his, like, not secret weapon, but that was so important to him. And obviously it was, bro. Like, the web blade was so important, bro. And to have Magnus break it just to get, oh my goodness. And I mean, didn't Magnus break it? I'm pretty sure Magnus broke it just to like get back to the Emperor. Man, I feel like that's literally like, I don't know, bro. I feel like as a father, like, how would you feel, right? If you're a dad, bro, let's say, for example, you're a dad, or you probably are a dad watching this video right now, bro, you're a father, bro, and just imagine having your son or daughter, like they're rushing home. Imagine, like, they're using your car and they're rushing home and they crash your car. I'm talking about, like, your car is just completely just totaled, but they get home safely just to warn you about something. I feel like that's such a, like, yeah, even though the car is just down bad, whatever, at the same time, I feel like I'll be glad that, like, my son or daughter is safe. You know what I mean? Especially if they're trying to warn me about something. Now I could see if they were being dumb and they were drinking and driving. That's a whole nother story. But the fact that they tried to hurry up and get to me and, like, warn me about something, I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I look at it. I wouldn't be too mad about it, but at the same time, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, bro, be more careful.
The three Loyalist legions are crushed, the White Scars are isolated at Chondax, the Dark Angels are sent to the corner of the galaxy, and the Ultramarines are ambushed by the Wordbearers, which kicks off the Ruinstorm. The Blood Angels are sent to Cygnus Prime where they are ambushed, aka shit starts super bad for the Imperium. However, while this is kicking off, the Emperor devises a plan. With Magnus by his side and the webway not requiring as much effort due to it not being torn open, Magnus is able to take over and sit in his father's stead. The Emperor is now free, fully powered from the throne, and is able to leave Terra. He has the Thousand Suns by his side, as well as the Imperial Fists and Space Wolves, who were recalled to Terra as soon as the Heresy started and never left to go to Prospero since Magnus was being a good boy. Horus, knowing that the Emperor would try come for him before he got too powerful, knew he needed to get to Molech to access the warp gate there in order to be supercharged and stand a chance against his father. The Emperor knew he needed to stop him. Molech would be the ultimate battleground. Many of the sub-Heresy wars would never happen. The Night Lords would not go to Thramis to delay the Dark Angels, as Horus would need his entire force by his side if he was to clash with the Emperor directly. Likewise, the White Scars would not be hunted by the Death Guard and Emperor's children, thus would be able to make their way to Terra a lot easier.
Yo, speaking about the White Scars, y'all, we gotta learn, well, I keep saying I gotta learn a lot about them, bro. I feel like they're the only, well, not the only, but I feel like out of like all like the out of all the Primarchs, y'all, like Jackedi Khan, y'all, I feel like he's probably like the only Primarch that I really don't know too much about. Like, I know of him obviously, but like I don't really know too much about him. I feel like I really need to, like, catch up on him. So if you got any videos, about Jackedi Khan, bruh, send them over here and I got you.
However, the Ultramarines and Blood Angels would still be stuck behind the Ruinstorm, maybe the Dark Angels as well. A lot of the traitor infighting would be reduced as well. However, I still think there is time for Fulgrim and Perturabo to do the Angel Exterminatus, as Fulgrim was still promised the super weapons for Perty while wishing to become a Demon Prince himself. Likewise, there would still be a Shadow Crusade by Lorgar and Angron to weaken the Ultramarines and force the Ruinstorm. Corvus also makes it to the Emperor's side, like he did in canon. However, with the Emperor needing
turn around and die
many forces as possible, he gives Corvus the Raptor gene tech, however keeps him on Terra. Corvus rebuilds the Raven Guard into the tens of thousands. Not quite a full legion, but still beefy as fuck. The Emperor knows that this will come down to a mega decisive battle. He also knows he is greatly outnumbered, with only his Custodes, a weakened Raven Guard, the Imperial Fists, Thousand Suns, and Space Wolves against 9 traitor legions.
I was about to say, what's so crazy, bro? This really puts into fact that, like, bro, because, like, again, when I first, like, came into Warhammer, it's almost been like a year, y'all, since I first came into Warhammer, y'all. I'm gonna keep it real. I thought that the Emperor, I thought he was legit, like, untouchable, if that made sense. Like, I thought he was, I feel like I compared him to, like, you know how, like, I view God in real life, right? I view, like, Jesus as, like, I view God as, like, just, like, his power legit, like, I feel like as a human mind, I can't process it. And that's the way I thought the Emperor was for Warhammer. I thought that the Emperor was just like nobody could touch him. He's just legit above everybody. Turns out, yes, he is above everybody, but at the same time, he's not as powerful as I thought he was. If that makes sense, I learned that if the Primarchs, like let's say for example, if like all 9 traitor Primarchs whatever teamed up to go against the Emperor, like in like a 9v1 battle, I think the Emperor would lose. which is crazy because I know you're like, yo, it's a 9v1. Of course he'll lose. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people don't really know like how powerful like the Emperor was. At first, I thought he was like untouchable. I thought he was like Denzel Washington and like in the Equalizer. I thought it was just no matter how many people there was, it's GG's. But at the same time, like, you know, he can be beat.
So his first order of business would be to try reach out to the Ultramarines, Dark Angels, and Blood Angels, as well as the White Scars, that he is alive and he needs their aid. For the story's sake, let's say there is a special world or some shit that has a Xeno device on it that can amplify psychic messages and get through the Runestorm. The traders also know of it, but don't want to face the Emperor in full force before Molech, so they send the Alpha Legion. Although torn, Alpharius decides to stay traitor, as he still believes that the Emperor would rather humanity die via Horus winning than the galaxy becoming a chaos-infused hellhole. The Emperor
You know what? See, I would think that too. I'm gonna keep it real. I would think that too. Cause I feel like, bro, if I was in the Emperor spot, bro, I'd rather everything to go. Like, listen, I'd rather the nukes go off insanely crazy than have all the humans that I love, bro, turn into these nasty, ugly critters, termites, bro. Seriously. So, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I actually kind of agree with that.
Takes most of his army to the Xeno device.
Maybe that's just me, you know?
Magnus on Terra to keep the webway stable, with Alexis, Pollux, and 30,000 Imperial fists also staying behind as garrison. They reach the Xeno device world, however the Alpha Legion show off an extremely impressive display of power, misdirection, and scheming, using their legion of nearly 500,000 Marines. It was always suspected that the Alpha Legion's size was the largest due to their low casualty method of war and stable gene seed, but now Alpharius proves it. Through a lot of battling and trial, the Emperor reaches the Xeno devices and begins broadcasting to his lost sons, while Dorn, Russ, Korax, and their legions contend with the Alpha Legion. This is just as Alpharius had planned though, as he sneaks up on the Emperor and prepares to assassinate him. As he strikes, his spear is blocked by another. Constantine Valdor parries his blow and pushes him back. These two had briefly dueled before in canon lore, with both believing themselves to be the greater warrior. Now, they can finally prove it. The Emperor is totally engrossed in reaching out to his Primarch son, so he cannot help Valdor. The two spear-wielding demigods clash in a flurry of strikes, blindingly fast, so that even a Space Marine would be unable to follow along. Both warriors land blows, both warriors bleed. Alpharius begins to speak of how what he is doing for the Emperor, for humanity. Valdor stays quiet. Eventually, however, towards the crescendo of their duel, Valdor has had enough. He cuts off Alpharius' frantic ranting with one word: loyalty. He says, "The thing that you do not understand is that true loyalty is not scheming, manipulating, or interpreting your own duty to fulfill your own prideful desires."
I mean, yo, is he lying though? Let's keep it real for what it is. Is he lying? First of all, no blinking. That's number one. Number two, bro, he's not lying though. That's literally the definition of like being loyal. Like, bro, like when you loyal to somebody, bro, you gotta stick it through. Thin by thin, blood by blood. You gotta stick it through. Cause I'm gonna keep it real for what it is. I don't want to get, I don't want to get into like the nitty gritty or whatever, y'all, but let's just keep it real for what it is. Especially in like this content creator space, bro, there's no loyalty. This whole, bro, everything that I've been seeing about these YouTubers, y'all, boy, yo, no, I'm sorry, not YouTubers, about these Twitch streamers, y'all. Bruh, do y'all not know? Here's the thing, you know what's so crazy? And speaking about loyalty, I don't want to ramble on too much, but bro, I've seen like a lot of like Twitch streamers and like a lot of these bigger Twitch streamers and stuff like that. Bro, I've seen a lot of these bigger Twitch streamers like be like all friends or whatever and say, oh, well, I've known that person on Twitch for these many years. They're my friend, da 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 da. Yo, but then whenever that friend is in hot water, all of a sudden, oh, well, I don't know him and this and this and that. What? I thought y'all was buddy, but I thought y'all was friends. It's so crazy because the word loyalty, like, I feel like you could be anybody's friend, but like, are you loyal to that person? Will you like when everything hits the fan? Are you going to stick it? Are you going to stick it through with them? Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you got to be friend with like a weirdo, or you got to be friend with like you got to be like a friend with like a murderer or something like that. I'm not saying that, or if that Twitch streamer friend is if he or she's into that weird stuff, then I get if you want to, get away from that. But at the same time, bro, it's so crazy because whenever he said loyalty, whenever he legit like broke down like the definition of like loyalty and stuff like that, my head instantly went to like the whole like Twitch drama. I don't even want to like mention nobody's name, but it's so crazy just seeing like all this go down it obviously it even happens in like in real life, y'all. You know, a lot of people claim that they're friends with a lot of people, but you know, when the going gets tough, bro, when somebody's in hot water, all of a sudden nobody know each other, and you know, there's no loyalty, there's no whatever. It's just crazy, bro. That's why I don't really take a lot of stuff on the internet too serious, because like all of it's really, I mean, secretly they all in competition with each other, so it's just crazy.
It is following without question, not because you want to or believe in the cause, but because you are loyal. I know I am a creature, made by the Emperor as a tool to fit his design. I know I've never lived free and likely never will, yet I do not, as I have loyalty above all else. Now shut up and die, traitor. Valdor pulls off a stunning move, weaving past a perfect killing blow from Alpharius as he steps inside the Alpha Legion Primarch's guard, Guardian Spear whirling. He slashes it up across Alpharius' chest, then within a millisecond, it is spin and cut 3 more times. Blood sprays from Alpharius' chest as he stumbles back. Despite the horrific injury though, Alpharius strikes back, a blindingly fast blow that Valdor, in his exposed state, will not be able to stop. However, it never lands, holding in place a centimeter away from Valdor's heart. The Emperor steps forward, his psychic might holding back the blow and locking the wounded Alpharius in place.
Boy, that is some like, you know how sick I would be if I'm Alpharius, bro? Imagine like bro hit me with a nasty, just like, first of all, he hit me with a whole monologue before hitting me. Like, he didn't say nothing this entire battle, and then he was like, no, bro, you don't even got no loyalty. Camera the red ass. Boom. And bro, imagine he hit me with something, and as soon as he hit me with something, I come right back. Pause. Before y'all even try to, I come right back. And bro, as soon as I'm about to hit him and he wide open, no guard, no nothing, the Emperor steps in and blocks my shot. You know how sick I would be? That's basically a 2v1.
Alpharius says, "My lord, I did this for..." "Enough, Alpharius," the Emperor says softly. "Enough. You were to be my blade in the shadow, my fail-safe against treachery, but you became the very thing you were made to safeguard against. You do not know me better than myself. The amount of lives that would not have been lost had you remained loyal, the amount of pain. This is enough." With a look at Valdor, the Captain General strikes Alpharius' head off with a clean single stroke, and with a flash of light, Alpharius is no more. With Alpharius gone and the Emperor re-entering the battle, the Alpha Legion breaks and flees back into the void. The signal was sent and received. The armies of Imperium Secundus rushed to brave the Ruinstorm and push to Molech, just as the White Scars and Vulcan do as well, hoping they can reach it in time. The Emperor and his fleet arrive at Molech as it is under siege. The traitors have already landed on the surface, with all 9 traitor legions. Mortarion, Angron, and Fulgrim have all ascended into their Demon Prince forms, hence the defenders are falling much faster than in canon. The Emperor leads a spear tip to break the traitors' orbital blockade, using his flagship and the Phalanx to punch a hole through the heretics. In return, the traitors use the Wordbearer megaships, the Abyss class, to fight back and prevent the Loyalists from taking the space advantage. The Emperor is able to land himself, most of his Custodes, Dorn, Russ, and Corax alongside a few 100,000 Astartes outside of the planet's capital, which is built on top of the Warp Gate. They fight in a mad open field battle to reach the city, clashing head-on with hundreds of thousands of traitor marines, an engagement that makes the Isfahan drop site massacre look like a skirmish. The Emperor takes on Mortarion, Angron, and Fulgrim simultaneously, while Kurz, Lorga, and Perturabo take on Dorn, Corax, and Russ. Now, I won't spend an hour detailing like 6 fucking epic-ass Primarchs that take place in one battle, as awesome as that would be, but you can use your imagination. All I'm saying is that this would be a dope amount of grud matches, Corvus vs Lorga, Dorn vs Perturabo, anyone vs Kurz. The Emperor's fight with these demonic sons would be more symbolic than physical, like he is fighting them on a spiritual level. As he overcomes each of them, he feels loss and sadness, mixed in with regret and—
Yo, I know his underarms and everything just be itchy. Like, I could never, bro. If I had to be anybody in Warhammer, I couldn't be him. Seriously, bro. And I'm not even trying to be mean, but I just know that he just itches, bro, like everywhere. I know he be scratching like a dog. Like, yo.
Passion. He promises that although he destroys them now, he will find them and bring them back. He will make his sons whole again. As Mortarion, the last of the 3, is passed down, the Emperor charges forth into the city. He reaches the warp portal just as Horus defeats his last defenders. The Emperor implores Horus not to step through, that it isn't too late to make things right. Horus looks at the Emperor, his face conflicted and sad, but then it hardens with resolve. He simply says, "Liar! and steps through the portal. Moments later, he steps out again, bursting with chaos energy that his mortal shell can barely contain. In canon, chaos gave him a big boost from the portal, but it was gradually increasing. However, with the Emperor here, chaos just turbocharges him, putting their own power on the line for this duel. The Horus that walks out of the portal is almost as powerful as the one that fights the Emperor in canon. The two gods duel, their battle matching much of what happened in canon. For story's sake, we'll also add in Loken, Jon, and Alanis all being present as well, following a similar journey to canon to try save the Emperor's life. It appears the duel will go the same way, the Emperor winning but being mortally wounded, but this time too far from Terra to be saved. However, before the duel can reach this point and Horus can mortally wound his father, an explosion of light enters the room. The flaming, majestic form of Magnus the Red appears, elevated to near godlike power from being on the golden throne. Despite being an astral projection, he radiates power and he blasts Horus across the room away from the Emperor. He then says, "We are here, father. All of us," before psychically teleporting Dorn, Corax, Russ, and Valdor. Then he also brings in Guilliman, Sanguinius, the Khan, Lion, and Vulcan, who have all
Magnus is, why he aura farming? Bro, who do you think you are, yo? Yo, hold on. Hold on. Who do you think? Yo, wait a minute. Wait. All right, okay. All right, bet. All right, okay. I'll give props to when props is due. Okay, bet, sure. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow, this is awkward because I never give Magnus any proper, like, wow. I can't even talk. This is, bro. Wow. It's definitely a new dawn. It's a new day, and it's a new life. Wow. Woo. Okay. All right, Magnus. Aura farming. I give it to you. Okay. I bet you get props over here. I bet. I never thought I'd ever give you props in my life, but hey, you know what? You got it, big dog. You got it.
Just arrived in system with their engines. In orbit, with the arrival of the new fleets, the traders are getting obliterated. Especially when the Alpha Legion contingent opens fire upon their trader king from behind. The loyalist Omegon showing his hand. It's a massacre. Horus faces his father and 9 loyalist brothers. He roars a challenge and charges. However, even with his immense power, he is no match. He is cut apart with axe, spear, blade, lightning claw, and warp energy. Chunks of his armor, flesh, and chaotic energy being wiped off him with each blow. Eventually, he falls to his knees, his blood and power flowing freely out of him. The Emperor says, "I wait for you, and I forgive you," just like he does in canon, before striking the Warmaster down, ending the heresy. With the Emperor intact, his 9 loyal sons alive, and the traitors completely annihilated, the setting enters the mythical Imperium Ascendant. So begins the true golden age of mankind, as they reach their full potential, eclipsing even the Eldar Empire at its peak, as it subjugates or annihilates all other factions. The Tower merge and are immediately vassalized or destroyed. The Craftworld sign a treaty that puts them under the protection and control of the Imperium.
Yo, I can't believe that. Yo, what? I actually gave Magnus yo, y'all know I never do that. Y'all know we always roast Magnus. He is the butt of every single joke. Yo, you know that, yo, it's over for him. Every single time we even see him in a video, GG's. You know, his reputation is tarnished, but I'm gonna keep it real. You know, he get a little I mean, well, obviously this didn't happen, you know, but this is like a what if situation, you know, so I don't know.
And the Dark Eldar are pushed back to Comora, which itself is then leveled. The Necrons emerge and are destroyed or forced to capitulate to the Imperium's demands, and the Tyranids enter the Milky Way only to find it completely fortified and unconsumable. The Emperor, seeing humanity flourish, once again fades back into the shadows as one by one his sons step down and enter a life of peace. The Space Marine legions become obsolete, and a now psychic human race is powerful enough to freely choose its own path forward. Grim darkness is banished, and in its place, hope remains. Who knows, perhaps the Emperor, with the help of Magnus, Malkador, Eldar, and the Golden Throne, is able to reform the traitor Primarchs and purge their souls of taint, bringing back Ferris as well. Oh yeah, and Erebus dies like a fucking bitch.
But also they need to fix Fulgrim as well, because we already know, yo, he's getting his salad tossed as I speak, for real. And he loving it. Big Bubba, bro. Yo. Big Bubba, Baby, Darnell, Tyrone, everybody in jail taking turns on him right now. Bro, they loving it, bro. And Fulgrim loving it too. We need to free him. Cause yo, bro, they going too crazy on him, bro. For real. They I even heard that people are having PTSD in their dreams from Fulgrim's screams in jail. Yeah, it's crazy. So we need to free Fulgrim. We gotta make sure that he's, you know, that he's good, bro. Because Darnell, Tyrone, Big Bubba, Tyrese, Chad, all of them going crazy on him. Yo, they going too crazy on him, bro. People, they waking up and they hearing Fulgrim scream. Like, yo, comment down below. Wait, is this the end of the video?
Alone and abandoned by his dying gods. So yeah, if Magnus didn't fuck everything up, the future could have been very, very
Of course
bright.
it could have.
If you enjoyed the video,
shout out to Majorkill, man, for this video. Thank y'all so much for coming through. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, man. I would love to see you guys, you know, in my next videos and stuff like that. If y'all did enjoy, thank y'all so much for coming through. Make sure y'all like the video on the way out, and I'm gonna see y'all later. Fixing them out. Peace out, everybody.